how your mind works, how your body works when you're under pressure and all these things.
Absolutely. Hello and a very warm welcome to all of you. After almost a month of absolutely mind-blowing action, we are here right down to the business end of the tournament. It's time for semi-final number 1, which is played at the SCG between New Zealand and Pakistan. And the news from Sydney is that New Zealand have won the toss and they are going to bat first. That is right. This is the first big match now of the semi-final, first semi-final rather, of the tournament, which is between New Zealand and Pakistan. And New Zealand have won the toss. There is a big advantage in Sydney at the SCG for teams batting first. 5 out of the 6 matches that have been played here at the Sydney Cricket Ground have been won by teams batting first. Sir, Ashok Malhotra is here with me, sir. New Zealand winning that bit. The toss is important here, as we've seen throughout this World Cup, because the margins of those losses have also been pretty big for the teams that are chasing. Teams batting first have an advantage. Kane Williamson has won the toss, has said that he's going to bat first. He's saying it's a used surface. Now, this was the surface. This was the same pitch where New Zealand had beaten Australia in the tournament opener. Where Finn Allen got off to an explosive start and New Zealand beat Australia in that match. So Kane Williamson saying there that it's a used surface, they're going to bat first, and New Zealand have gone in with the same team. He's also gone on to say it's important we assess to the changing conditions quickly. Our focus is on this game. Babar Azam at the toss also said that he would have wanted to bat first. Now, both these teams have gone with the same playing 11 from the last game, and why not? They want to maintain that winning combination, the combination that has done well in the Super 12 stage. So New Zealand have won the toss at the SCG in the first semi-final of this World Cup. They've opted to bat first, and advantage to New Zealand. Ashok Malhotra is here with us. Ashok, sir, this is advantage for New Zealand straight away with batting first. Also, the fact that, you know, they have won that. It's the same surface where they won against Australia. Of course, more matches have been played here. So, and the pitch looks drier, as I was just reading in the pitch report. But still, a big advantage to the team that is batting first. How do you look at it?
See, definitely, New Zealand's strategy has been to set up the top and defend it, because they've got a good bowling attack. They've got all bases covered kind of bowling attack. Chasing a target, then they depend a lot on Williamson. If he plays the role of a sheet anchor, everybody revolves around it. But batting first, they can throw their bat at everything because there's no set target. They can play freely. And plus, not to forget, they won the first match against Australia, batting on the same pitch. As you know, this might have played in their mind also. And as we say, there's a little roughness on the pitch, or maybe little dryness on the pitch, which might help the spinners later on, or the ball might not come onto the bat. So it would be a great idea. And plus, it's a pressure game. It's a do or die. So pressure games, you normally put front of the ball and put pressure on the opposition. I think they've done a very right thing. And as we heard Babar also, he wanted to bat as well, because we know Pakistan is not a great chasing side.
The other thing, sir, being that I was just looking at how these two teams have done when they've met in the semi-finals of the World Cup, and the three semi-finals that they've met, Pakistan have won all three of them. So there is that jinx that New Zealand would want to break. But these two teams and their road to the semi-finals have been so different. On one hand, you have New Zealand, who've dominated their group, who've been at the top of the group almost throughout, whereas Pakistan have kind of got in through the back door. Also, they have to thank Netherlands for coming into the semi-final. Keeping that in mind, how confident would New Zealand be, and how confident would Pakistan be, knowing that they've got a second life?
See, Pakistan will be very confident. As you said, they have beaten them in the 3 World Cup semi-finals. So that gives you belief that that history says we are better side. We can turn it around. You know, and another thing, Mihai, is the side with gate plans, which comes from behind, is always a dangerous one. They got nothing to lose. They have everything to gain. And they got a new life, new lease of life. And when you talk about New Zealand, they have a point to prove. You know, before that, they were always at the same finals, but now they started reaching the finals. This might be the year where they will go all the way. So I'm sure the way they are playing in this tournament, it will give them a lot of belief, but it's 50-50 in this game. You know, whichever side plays the cricket on the particular day will reach the finals, but it's even Stevens kind of thing. If New Zealand puts 160, 170 on the board, I think it'll be a tough ask for Pakistan.
That's right. Let's take a look at New Zealand's playing 11, sir, and this has been a team that has just won their games, except the one game that they lost against England, but they've been under the radar, and that's how New Zealand play their cricket. Of course, they announced themselves in this World Cup with that big win against defending champions Australia. But look at that, Devon Conway, after that 92, hasn't been able to score runs. Glenn Phillips has scored runs. Finn Allen, again, opening was brilliant, but since then hasn't been scoring runs. Daryl Mitchell hasn't scored runs. So you look at their lineup. Kane Williamson scored runs, but again, you know, he can play that anchor role. It's two more people with him who need to go hammer and tongs at the other end for them to really get to that total that you're talking about.
Yeah, and not to forget, Finn Allen has not fired after the first game. He played a small cameo, and neither has Devon Conway. After the 90, he's not been that impressive or not put a big total on the board. It is Glenn Phillips who is the go-to man for them, and Williamson when he scored that 50 in the last game. So he's getting back to form. They're depending a lot on Glenn Phillips, but winning the toss, getting to bat first, I think they would like to get off a good start, especially explosive start. We know what Finn Allen can do, but can he do against a rejuvenated Shine Afridi, which is really a question they need to answer. Finn Allen throws his bat at everything, but it is again a flat track to if the ball doesn't dart around, then he's a champion bowler. But when ball swings around, then he might be a sitting duck. But Conway is the main man, you know, along with Williamson, who can build an inning, take his time. But the guy who can turn things around is Glenn Phillips and Daryl Mitchell, who both are very, very exclusive.
You also look at their bowling, sir. Trent Bolt, Lockie Ferguson, you know, the thing being that a lot of it will depend on how Mitchell Santner and Ish Sodhi bowl in the middle overs, isn't that so? Because now what we're seeing from Pakistan is it's their middle order that's batting so well in that over 7 to 15.
Yeah, definitely the middle order, and now we don't know which number Harris is going to bat. Is he going to open the inning, or Babar will come down number 3? So we'll wait and watch. There might be a different strategy in the mind. But the good thing for them is Shan Masood is a blessing in disguise for them. If Iftikhar has started firing, Shadab Khan is firing. So middle order has now kind of looks to have kind of depth which they never had. But now, with the Babar coming in the middle order, it'll strengthen their middle order. And it will give a breathing space to Babar Azam because he's struggling as an opener. And Harris, I suppose that Mohammad Harris is a phenomenal opening batter. Whatever I'm listening to the Pakistani cricketers, and they all, you know, they only want, like we wanted Rishabh Pant, they wanted Mohammad Harris to open the innings instead of Babar Azam,
Yeah.
and Babar to come 3. And I think they might have a point. They have seen enough of him. And whatever 2 matches they have played, he is accelerating. He has been seems to be quite an explosive batter. And that's not a bad mantra to have somebody like Mohammad Harris opening the inning.
That's right. Also, you know, there are comparisons to the great Mohammad Yusuf already, and he's young. He, you know, was just brought in the middle of the tournament, and the 2 innings that he's played, he's impressed everybody with his 6-hitting ability, sir. And again, some of the best bowlers. But I think all of us are just surprised by how the weakest link in Pakistan team has proven to be their strongest performer, which is their middle order. We were talking about this before this World Cup began, that this is it. It'll come down to Babar Azam and Mohammad Rizwan. If they can score runs, if they can get going, Pakistan are a dangerous side. They haven't scored runs. Somehow Rizwan still scored 100 runs, but Babar has struggled in single digits, only 1 double-digit score, and yet it's their middle order who no one gave a chance to, who have stood up, and Pakistan can be very proud of that.
See, Meha, before that, Babar and Rizwan who were scoring most of the time. They were hardly getting out. This World Cup, they get out because Rizwan and Babar are not being able to give them a good start. So there comes the hour, so something like that. Iftikhar, we didn't know. I'm sure Pakistan knew how well he can play. Shan Masood, we know as an opener, he's a phenomenal opening batter. Mohammad Harris, people in Pakistan knew, but Mohammad Harris is to Pakistan what Arshdeep is to Team India.
Yeah.
He's come in by default. So maybe he might be a game turner as well. You know, they are getting better with every game. When you talk about Pakistan, Mohammad Harris coming in, Iftikhar coming to the party, Shan Masood, then Shadab scoring that 100. And for me, the biggest thing which they have is Shaheen Shah Afridi is fully fit and ready to go. Now he is the one who can be a danger man for New Zealand.
And also in the way Shaheen Shah Afridi bowled in the last match, you realize that he is back to his best in the way he was bowling, sir. And that's why I'm going to put the key battles now. You have already spoken about one of those battles of Finn Allen versus Shaheen Shah Afridi, and you're spot on with that, sir, because Finn Allen has struck at over 158 in 2021, but he struggles against left-arm pace. Look at that. Allen's been dismissed 7 times versus left-arm pace in T20Is. All 7 wickets have come in power plays. So you're looking at that being one of the key battles for them as as New Zealand bat first. That's the one big one.
It is. As the history says, he struggles when the ball comes back in. Maybe he likes get on with the game. I think somebody like Mitchell Starc comes in handy to him because he pitches the ball up. Whereas Shaheen Shah Afridi pitches a bit short and swings the ball back in, which Mitchell Starc doesn't do. And then he likes the right hand. Comes on to him. Somebody like Pat Cummins, that is a ball.
Yes.
But as the record says, 7 dismisses. So is it going to be the 8th one? Because this 6 overs is going to tell us the direction which this match is going. If they get off to an explosive start, 6 overs, 40 runs or 50 runs for 1, then I think it's a game is moving towards New Zealand way. I'm not saying they're out of the game, but they will have an advantage.
The other key battle is with Devon Conway and Haris Rauf. And Haris Rauf, if you look at the stats, sir, seems to be his nemesis because Conway has struggled against Rauf. Rauf has dismissed Conway 4 times in 27 balls. Conway has managed to score just 29 runs. So the other thing is that if Devon Conway is batting, would you bowl Haris Rauf out right there?
No, I wouldn't do so because you go with your own strategy. I understand he's picked up our Conway, but he'll pick him up later if need. Because they have their own strategy. You don't change your strategy for one single guy. Because then who's going to bowl in the middle overs for Pakistan? That is very, very vital because Haris Rauf, those 4 overs in the middle 8 overs are going to be very, very vital. So I think they will have him one change, maybe fifth over. That is what is going to be. But all in all, it seems to be loaded in Pakistan's bowlers' favor. But it's a new day.
Yeah.
It is history we're talking about, and you create history every time you play a game.
How impressed have you been by Shadab Khan as their premier all-rounder? I mean, he's been playing cricket for a while. We've seen him. But what he's shown in this World Cup has been an improved batter, an improved bowler, and somebody who's taking that load in the middle over with the bat and the ball.
See, he's rated very high. Leg spin, there's no two ways about it. He's world class. He bowls magnificently, and he's a go-to bowler for Pakistan. When it comes with batting, leaves a lot to be desired, but Pakistanis are very, very fond of him, his batting capability. And not to forget, he was batting at number 4 in some matches till Shan Masood came and took over, kind of a thing. So I think that they have a lot of faith in his ability, and that 50 will do him good. And not to forget, Pakistani will be playing this match with their flag on their heart, in their hearts, because they know history is on their side. They're still looking at the history of '92 when they came from nowhere and won the World Cup, and they're hoping to do that because if you look at Pakistani papers, Pakistani TV channels, they are only talking about winning the World Cup. They're talking as if they've already won the World Cup because it is '92. They're thinking about that history, that we're going to create history once again. I mean, they forget they still have yet to play 2 games, and you need to be very good in both those days.
You do see that change in Pakistan, though, despite the fact that, yes, I mean, I guess their fans do have a right to be excited, given that, they were all but out of the knockout stages and just snuck back in. But the sense one gets now from this Pakistan team is that it's not so much about beating India. Of course, it is a lot about beating India in the World Cups, but it's also about doing well. And they've got a team which is well prepared in the way they've played this tournament, sir. But they're also, on paper, a very good side. And, so in that sense, we're not seeing this team as one of the Pakistan teams of the old where, okay, maybe they'll win, maybe they won't. They just want to come in and beat India. This is a serious team that wants to win this World Cup.
And it is not now beating India or India beating Pakistan. Now you're talking about the World Cup. First game, yes, it was India-Pakistan, but now it is you are on the verge of winning the World Cup, just 2 games away. So I think now you're totally focused on winning the World Cup. And as you said, they have been playing good cricket all around. It is not it is not the era of the 90s when Pakistan was struggling very badly. Now they got some good players, some good world-class players like Shahin Shah, Babar, Rizwan. They have those guys, Harris Rao. These are the guys who can turn any game around. Yeah. But can they do it on the day? That is the main cause of concern. Can they chase the target if they put runs on the board? Because and somewhere along the line, they have got phenomenal batters like Shan Masood, Mohammad Harris, Iftikhar Ahmed, but they are not match winners. The match winners are still Babar Azam and Rizwan. So they will have to come to the party. If Pakistan has to win the game, one of them will definitely have to come to the party and chase the game.
So for New Zealand, sir, how do you think a team like New Zealand that has been in 5 successive World Cup semi-finals without having won a single World Cup, how do they approach knockout games like this? I mean, they've obviously seen more failure than success. Does this play at the back of your mind? That belief of we've reached here. It's about crossing the final hurdle. It's about crossing the semi-final hurdle. They've actually managed to even cross the semi-final hurdle because they've reached the finals more than a couple of times. But they've just faltered every time. Does that play on your mind?
It does. But not to forget, they are the only gentlemen side, if I may say. For me, gentlemen, either they're dead or they don't play cricket, except for New Zealand. They are really, really nice guys, kind of thing. But then they don't have a superstar in the side. They're not worried whether Williamson score runs, Finn Allen scores runs, Conway scores runs, Phillips scores runs, or Mitchell scores runs. Somebody will put his hand up and will perform. That is one for all for one kind of an attitude they have, which is lacking in a lot of other teams. And they are not jokers, mind you. They are not jokers, like South Africa is, despite of having a good side. So I think that, and they thrive on big occasions. That is the strength. They're mentally tough guys, thrive on big occasions. The bigger the occasion, better they play. And that is why they reach so many finals. They always are, nobody talks about them before the World Cup. It is always Australia, England, Pakistan, India, but nobody talks about New Zealand, but he's always there, as you said. 5 World Cup semi-finals, which shows how good or how great a team New Zealand has.
Now, for all our viewers who've just joined us, sir, let's just take them through the toss update. New Zealand have won the toss. They have opted to bat first. This is a ground where batting first has been an advantage in this World Cup. 5 out of the 6 matches have been won by teams batting first. And the only time that the team won chasing has been the match that England played against Sri Lanka and just about managed to cross the line in that game in the Super 12 stage. So batting surface, there is some help for the spinners as well. The pacers have got maximum number of wickets here, but it's the spinners who have been more economical. On top of that, now with New Zealand having won the toss, that advantage is with New Zealand, and New Zealand played on the same surface when they beat Australia in the tournament opener, and that was a big win for New Zealand that set the campaign up for them. So there you have it. At the SCG, it's New Zealand versus Pakistan, and New Zealand have won the toss. Both teams have gone in with the same playing 11. So clearly, they want to carry on with the momentum. Pakistan had beaten Bangladesh very comfortably, so they've gone in with the same playing 11. The other thing, sir, was also the question of them going in with a batter in place of Mohammad Wasim, but that's not to be. They've gone in with Mohammad Wasim. They've made sure that their bowling is good. But that's what now we have with the toss. New Zealand have won the toss and they've opted to bat first. Ashok sir, just last couple of questions before we wrap this up. You're saying 160 is a good score for New Zealand on this pitch?
Yes, 160 plus. Well, I wouldn't say exactly 160, 160 plus. That can be 165, 170, something like that. And once you put that runs on the board, Neha, it's a knockout game. It puts extra pressure on the side which is chasing.
Okay. Now, at the toss, this is what Kane Williamson has said about the surface. He said it's a used surface, not much grass on it. We're going to have the same team, same pitch, but different, I reckon, which is what at the pitch reports, Sean Pollock had said that it's the same pitch that was used for Australia versus New Zealand. This one, though, is devoid of grass, and it's very bare and pretty dry. It could be a little bit too paced. And of course, Pakistan, he says, have seen more of these type of pitches than New Zealand have. And like you've been saying throughout the show, bat first, get runs on the board, and then see what the surface does. So this is what the pitch has been described as. Babar Azam at the toss, this is what he had to say. He said that he would have liked to bat first as well. And he said that he'll try to take advantage of the early conditions and put pressure on them, which is what Ashok sir was also saying, that those first 6 overs will be very important if New Zealand get off to a really quick start, an explosive start, as we've seen Finn Allen do in that first game against Australia. Then things are going to get very difficult for Pakistan. And they've also said that we lost our first 2 matches, but the way the team played in the last 3 matches, we're confident as a team that we look to carry that momentum. New Zealand have quality players, and we'll try to be calm and play according to the situation. We're trying to focus on this match. The other thing also coming into this tournament, sir, captains have not had it easy in this tournament. We've seen what has happened with Temba Bavuma, Aaron Finch, despite scoring runs. Similarly with Kane Williamson. I mean, coming through iffy form, he'd scored some runs in the Tri-Series, but hasn't been as consistent. Got runs here. That would have given the team confidence as well. I mean, that's something we're seeing in this tournament. You know, captains doing well, you feel slightly better about the team and about your chances.
And definitely, Neha is the captain who plays well, captains well. You know, that's my thinking. Because if you're struggling with the form, like Babar,
Yeah.
you must be thinking about your form before the team, how team is going to perform. So that does happen. And when you talk about the names, you've forgotten a small name, Rohit Sharma.
Yeah.
You know, who's struggling with the bat as well. You know, so so somewhere along the line, the batters have all of them. You know, all of them have Bavuma, Finch, Williamson, Babar Azam, Rohit Sharma.
Yeah.
They all have struggled. I don't know, is it pressure of the World Cup or is it they are out of form? I would not know. But then you are as good as your last team. One good knock, we forget everything. And that just might happen today. Williamson has scored a 50 and come back into form. Babar hasn't yet to score runs, but nothing bigger than this stage.
Also, a word, sir, on what this World Cup and the fact that someone like a Tim Southee, Trent Boult, they've reached the semi-finals. They've done it before. They've just not been able to cross the line. You know, they've played World Cups where their teams have taken them. So these two are really the veterans, so to speak, in terms of bowling when it comes to New Zealand teams. So it'll be interesting how, if they end up, you know, if they end up crossing the line, what this would mean for them, because they've been here, they've you know, only tasted loss. They've not been able to succeed at this stage.
Yeah, definitely, it's icing on the cake for them. You know, they are in the last leg of the career. Be it Trent Boult, be it Tim Southee, who have been honest tryers for New Zealand, and I have been winning loads of matches with them. But yes, if they can cross them over the line, especially win them the World Cup, nothing like it. Then they can quietly go home and hang their boots and relax and live to tell the story to their grandkids. You know, so that is a thing for them, and it is an incentive. It's an extra incentive for especially these two bowlers.
Last one, sir. Then your predictions. What will New Zealand end up scoring in the first innings, and who's winning this match?
See, winning, I wouldn't know, but the fact is, New Zealand should score 160 plus, and I think it'll be an even Steven game. I would say 51-49. As of now, the way New Zealand is playing may be in their favor, but then it's that day. If Pakistan gets to a good start, Richmond starts firing, or Babar plays the role of a sheet anchor, things can be different. But as of now, I would say it's a little bit on the New Zealand side.
Also, the toss. How much of a difference would that make, given that New Zealand have won the toss and they're batting first?
See, it will, because if you listen to Babar Azam, he also wanted to bat. So it has gone against their strategy. So he wanted to bat and put runs on the board, but it's gone New Zealand's way. They have the advantage, and if they can put runs on the board, and if a wicket is dry, and if it's going to stop and come, it's going to stop and come more under lights when they bat in second. So I think that is why I'm giving a little bit of edge to New Zealand. But it's a World Cup semi-final.
Yeah.
Anything can happen.
Yeah.
But as of now, definitely New Zealand is at a little bit of advantage.
Okay, New Zealand has the advantage. So we've already talked about a couple of key battles. What are the other battles that you're looking forward to? You know, the little mini battles within the big battle.
See, I would like to have between Guy Phillips and Shadab Khan, because Shadab Khan is the one who checks the flow of run in the middle overs, and Guy Phillips bats in the middle. So that is where can he take him on? Okay, because he goes for big ones, and these are big rounds. It's not easy to clear. And most of these players, they're not very good players of wrist spinners. So that is why Shadab might have an edge, but the way Guy Phillips is batting, anything can happen.
Also, sir, quickly on Daryl Mitchell, you know, the hero for them, you know, in knockout games in earlier World Cup. But this tournament, I mean, not much. We've not seen anything from him. Are you expecting something in a big game from someone like Daryl Mitchell?
He did that in the 50-over World Cup in England.
Yeah.
And he scored back 300 very recently before he got injured. So he's a guy in form. Sure, he's coming back for injury. Maybe he's not match fit, he's not in the rhythm. But this is a big game. This is what he's been waiting for. He's a big match player. Anything can happen. He can turn things around. Believe you me, for me, Guy Phillips, Daryl Mitchell are two guys who can turn things around for New Zealand.
And what is the way you think that Pakistan will look to stop the openers right now? Because I think that's the one big thing. In a pressure game, if you are, say, 3 to 4 wickets down in the power plays, it's going to be difficult then. So what will Pakistan look to do to stop New Zealand?
First and foremost, they'll have to get rid of Finn, because he's the one who goes hammering down. He throws his bat at everything. He's a power hitter, and if he gets going, and if you bowl in his arc, it is out of the park, kind of a thing. He's that kind of a batter. So you got to get rid of Finn Allen as early as possible. And if New Zealand lose 2 to 3 wickets in the power play, they are in the back, because then you have to consolidate, come back into the game, and then you don't play the way you want to play. I know you still have Kane Williamson, but still, then you are in the back in a World Cup semi-final.
Okay, sir, I think it's time to wrap this up. But thank you so much for joining us. You've already told us that it's going to be New Zealand who have the advantage. We'll take that up with you after the game. But thank you once again.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, then, here we have it for semi-final. We will be back after that game to just talk about the result. And, we'll have Ashok Malhotra join us on the show as well. That's it from us. Goodbye. Thanks for watching.